Hey book besties, it's me, Amma B, and I'm back at it again with a library haul at the Milford Library in Delaware. I am absolutely in love with this library, mostly because it is just so cute. Anytime you see a book page, grab it. And it also has an amazing YA section. I'm a big fan of YA, especially fantasy and romance. So I decided to camp out in the YA section for a little while, look at some of my faves, but also explore around for some new reads, especially for my February TBR. I mean, look at this little sign that gives you permission to read YA books even if you're an adult. I mean, that's just too cute. But I really was just kind of searching around. I wasn't expecting to get as many books as I did. I really kind of went hard. But I'm so glad that I got a chance to go to the library. It's always an amazing place to just chill out, relax, and maybe find a book you've been looking for forever. Anyways, I found so many different types of books, from YA to adult fiction. You guys know I love fantasy and folklore. They had such a great variety of books, nonfiction and fiction, especially a lot of diversity picks. And I even got a graphic novel about drunken mermaids. Such a win. I just realized I never actually showed you guys what I got from the library. It was quite a it was a catastrophe, actually. I had a really great time, and there was such a good selection of books. I love YA books, I love horror, I love fantasy, and I found so many amazing books, and some books that have been mentioned quite a bit on my YouTube timeline. But there was this man that was on speakerphone, obviously I think with his parole officer, screaming to him. He doesn't understand why they found things in his system, and I was just like, this is the Twilight Zone. Like, everybody else is going along like it's normal, and I know I need to mind my own business, but it's just like he on speaker and he's screaming. Like, let's make different choices. But that's none of my business. I'm gonna stay out of it. Here we go. So I got 8 books. Yeah, I got 8 books. I went hard. I'm not gonna lie, I did go hard, but some of it is because there's just so many good books, and I tried to get a variety so that I can enjoy it. Not to mention, I already had at least 6 books checked out. I'm not gonna lie to you, I already have 6 books checked out. But the first book that I read, I actually finished reading this yesterday. It's called Horrorstör. It's by Grady Hendrix. This is the 3rd Grady Hendrix book I read this month. I just was like on a Grady Hendrix kick. I love horror. I love psychological thriller. And I feel like he always gives me that in a package that makes me care. A lot of his stories center stories about, you know, race, poverty, and just how our society functions for different people. Even if you're living in the same place, how you're living kind of a different reality. This particular one, what I love so much about it is that it is based in like an IKEA-like store, but the book is also like formatted like an old IKEA catalog. And if you're, you know, a millennial like me, I consider myself a zillennial. But if you're a millennial like me, like, this stuff is so familiar. So much so that the chapter headers, hold on, let me find it. The chapter headers are actually like little almost cataloged. They're like little catalogs of different furniture. But as you move through the book, when I tell you, it's so mind-numbing. It's such an interesting concept of, like, instead of a house being haunted, an entire furniture store is haunted. And when I tell y'all are not ready for how quickly this turns. It turns so quick. But it was a really great read. I think ultimately I gave it 4 stars. I was enthralled the entire time. Like, I think around chapter 7 or 8 is when it really started to get like, whoa. But by the end of it, I was like I had to, when something crazy happened, I had to walk out and tell my fiance, like, honey, let me just describe to you everything that's going on. He'd be like, what? Yes. So anyways, I highly recommend. These were recommended to me by one of my former co-workers, who I also consider a friend. She's like such an amazing book bestie. And now that I've read 3 of his books, I'm definitely a fan. I'm looking to read How to Sell a Haunted House. I just finished the Southerners book club guide to slaying vampires, and the first one I read was the Final Girl support group. So if you've read any more Grady Hendrix books, let me know down in the comments. I know another one is My Best Friend's Exorcism. There's quite a few. The next one is actually a graphic novel that I got. It looks so cute. This is called Thirsty Mermaids by Kat Lay. And essentially the premise that I gathered just from reading like the back of it, or the inside cover, was that a group of mermaids get to come up on land and like get their legs, but because they get so drunk while they're on land I'm sorry, it's so silly to me. They get so drunk while they're on land, they kind of become stranded and they can't go back into the water, like they're just out of it. So they're trying to figure out how to navigate the surface world without kind of letting people know that they're mermaids. I was like, yes. And also the animation is so cute. I was like, oh yeah, I'll be reading this. So that was the second pick. This next one I got because, you know, February is Black History Month, and it's also Lovers Month because of Valentine's Day. So I got this YA novel called For All Time by Shanna Miles. It looked like a really cute love story. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know much about the book. It said Tamar is a musician, a warrior, survivor. Fayard, he's a pioneer, a hustler, a hopeless romantic. Together, they've lived 1,000 lives, seen worlds built itself up from nothing, only to tear itself down again in civil war. They've even watched humanity take to the stars, but in each life, one thing remains the same: their love and their fight to be together, one story after another. The only issue is they never get to see how the story ends until now. So basically, it's like they keep being reincarnated and they like find each other in different lives. This is even cuter than I thought. Like sometimes I'm that person, you know, you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover. If it's got a good cover, girl, it's got me. So I thought it was super cute because I love the idea of reincarnation, and I just love a cutesy YA story. So I have high hopes for this. Really looking forward to reading it. I've seen quite a bit on BookTube. This book is by Sarah Rose Etter. It's called Ripe. This pops up a lot whenever somebody is recommending like weird girl books and like feminine rage books, which are two things that I love very much. So I plan on reading it. I kind of want to go in blind to this personally, so let me know down in the comments like if you read this book, what you rated it, if you enjoyed the read. I'm not going to talk about it too much just because I do want to kind of go in blind, because I've heard a lot of talk about it but I don't really know what it's about. So looking forward to reading this. The next one is actually Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Worlds by Heather Fawcett. And essentially this book is the second of a series. I didn't realize it because I thought it was the first book. I saw it in Barnes & Noble like last year. And essentially it's like a really cute book. The first one that I saw that I thought this was, I should have paid more attention because it clearly says book 2 of Emily Wilde series. But the first one that I saw was about like a fairy world, and essentially these were like her field guide notes and the things that she's learned by being like an expert folklorist. I don't really know much about this. I might take it back because I want to read the first book just because I don't want to be lost, but I also do read series out of order, so I don't know. I'm gonna take a look at it. Let me know if you've read this series before, but I'm really looking forward to it. This next one is called So Let Them Burn by Camilla Cole. This one I again picked up because I really like the cover and it gave me fantasy, which I definitely think it is. I want to say this is this author's debut novel as well. And yeah, it looks like there's dragons. Looks like she has divine magic to liberate land from its enemies, the dragon riding English language empire. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I didn't need to know much about this. I want to read this, and I want to read Beast of Prey, which is, I think the second one just came out too, but those are the books that I want to add to like my latter half of February. So I'm trying to read some romance, a little, you know,
But I want to also add in my Black Fairy because my Black Fantasy, because I love fantasy. Next, We Mostly Come Out at Night is a compilation of 15 queer tales of monsters, angels, and other creatures. I know that Kalynn Bayron is in this. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, you know that I have quite an obsession with that lady. I love everything that she writes. Any anthology that she's in, I'm gonna read it. I recently read A Mermaid's Tale, which was like a tale of like siren and mermaid stories, and hers was really cute. It was like a really heartwarming story. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and girl, oh, they playing with people. Y'all, look at this. Okay, this is the front cover. Why is this the back of the book and it's upside down? So I have to read it like this. Oh no, I wonder if they even know that. I'm gonna look up to see if that's on purpose. If you've read this before, let me know if that's on purpose. But yeah, that's pretty wild. I don't know how I didn't notice that. I didn't open it, I just saw it and was like, oh my god, I know Kalynn Bayron's in this. I'm telling you, I was cleaning out their YA section. So I say 1, 2, 3 of those are YA. 4, because I have one more. This one is called Tahira in Bloom by Farah Heron. This one is very cute. She doesn't get into her fashion designer program, so she ends up basically like interning with her aunt, who has like her own dress shop. And it's like an enemies to lover story. She meets this grumpy guy and they kind of don't like each other at first, but obviously they're gonna fall in love. But I love a like coming of age story that has a bit of romance but also has self-discovery. So I was really excited about this. Plus the cover is super duper cute. So those are all of the books that I got at the library. Before we go, I just have to say, make sure you visit your local libraries. They are very interesting places, obviously, but also there's such wonderful things. If reading really isn't your thing, get some DVDs. If you're not really, you know, into checking out books, just spend some time there. There's Wi-Fi, it's warm, it's cool, and it's really a nice place to just kind of not be home but be able to do other things. So I would highly recommend it. For me personally, I'm always going to be a library kid, so always going to be in the library. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this haul and if you've read any of these books, as well as some recommendations for my February TBR. I'd love to see them down below. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.